Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome to Chaos Live. I hope I have audio going and everything like that. Okay, we're good. So, welcome to Chaos Live. If you are new, then welcome to this whole thing where I just get on, try to do it once a week. Sometimes it's not every once a week, but get on here, hang out with you awesome people, answer any questions, and just talk Army stuff, I guess. You know, have some fun, have a good time. Hopefully we have a good time and we don't have any trolls ruining our experience in the live chat. And I want to say, what's up to T-Dog? You were hell on it. That was awesome. I'm assuming you must be one of those awesome people that have hit the bell to be able to get notifications. And thank you so much. Any of you out there that want to do that, get notifications right away when I'm going live, then just make sure to hit that little bell when you hit the subscribe thing. If you're already subscribed and you didn't hit the bell, just go back to my channel and it should give you an option to do the bell. But thank you so much for joining that quick. Hayden, what's happening? And then David. So welcome to Chaos Live. So we'll just hang out here for a little bit and answer questions, chat with you, all that fun stuff. I don't really have any kind of featured stuff. I know normally like over here that way I got some featured stuff in there, but I didn't really have any good idea for like any featured stuff. So we're just here to hang out and have a good time, I guess. So that's what we're going to do. So back again for another live stream. What's up? Hope you had a good day today. Thanks, man. Rand Canyon. I did. I went and did a little workout this morning, went up the trails to the top of the incline. I know last week I did the actual steps, which is gnarly. It's such a workout. This time I went and me and my buddy David, we went and walked the trail, which the trail isn't as rough as the steps are, but it's still a long ways. It's still, it was a little over 3 miles up, and then so altogether it ended up being almost 7 miles, about 7 miles. So it was a good workout. I'm a little bit exhausted I get a little bit of a headache. I think I was a little bit dehydrated, but I'll get through it. So, hey Chaos, another thanks for letting me win the giveaway. Well, I didn't let you win, you won the thing. But yeah, congratulations to, what is it? I always forget. Silver Tails 55. This ammo can right here. It's going to be coming your way probably around the end of the month. Got a couple more things. I still need to get inside of this thing for you. But that was the winner for the Instagram one, for the social media part of it. I posted to Instagram the picture to say, hey, leave a comment, and I'll randomly select a winner. And there wasn't a whole lot of entries, so I really kind of just based it off of who I felt was, left some good comments, liked the picture, was pretty interactive with my videos, so I ended up picking Silvertail to be the winner. So that's how that came about. I was doing a second can for Facebook, but that didn't work out so great. I had a total of, I think, 1 or 2 entries, so that wasn't very promising for that. So I think we'll hang on to the other can. We'll save it maybe for 20,000. Give away that can at 20,000 subscribers or something else. I don't know yet. But that Facebook one wasn't very promising, so that was a big letdown. Sorry for those 2 people that entered in it, but I just don't feel like that's, very, very good kind of contest running right there if I only had 2 entries. So that's not very fun. That doesn't make it interesting. So yeah, good job, Silvertails. You get the can probably later in the month. I'll send that out to you. Dude, what would you do if no one showered up? Are you talking about for the thing? Okay. Oh, no one showed up. What would I have? I was just like showered up. I was like, what the heck? Sorry, I'm reading it in a little bit of a smaller font on when I look at it from over there and stuff is what I usually read it off of. What would I do if no one showed up? I guess I've done it before. So it was, like I said, it wasn't until recently, like I got all these amazing people that decided they wanted to, subscribe to my channel and everything, because this number down here, there used to be a lot smaller back in October of last year. And I would try to do live streams and nobody would join, but I would still record them and just let them be on my channel for anybody who wanted to like watch them afterwards. And I would do that occasionally. And that would be horrible. But yeah, now I'd be really bummed if nobody showed up, because now I've gotten used to some amazing people coming and hanging out with me. So it'd be really disappointing if nobody showed up for that. Loving the hat. Thank you. I can't find my red hat. I don't know where the hell I left it. I want to say I thought I left it outside because I was helping the girlfriend out with some gardening stuff yesterday. But I don't know. I don't know where the hell my red hat's at. I might have to get a new hat. But this is, it's a little bit sweaty. You can probably see a little bit of sweat stains on it. This is normally, like, I would wear this sometimes to work, and I wore this today going up the mountain for the hike. And so it's a little bit sweaty, but I threw it on because I like wearing hats. So I didn't not the traditional red hat, but I'll have to find that sucker. Subscribe, like, and notification bell is the best thing to have. I agree. Thank you so much, She-Dog, for having that turned on. Happy Memorial Day weekend, Chris. Well, thanks, Jay the Vorn. I always feel like it's kind of a weird one to really say Happy Memorial Day, because really you're honoring, you know, fallen service members, not necessarily soldiers, because it's all military. So I know, like, a lot of people are still pretty commonly used to saying, like, you know, Happy Memorial Day and everything like that, but it's really not a happy holiday. It's really a sad holiday where you're just trying to honor you know, service members that, you know, died in battle. But I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing that I never really know how to address Memorial Day. But I don't know. Do doctors, dentists, religious personnel ever get medals or ribbons for a non-combat role? Yeah, they're not exempt from it. They could still win. They could still get, like, Army Commendation medals. They would still get of course, the Good Conduct medals. So they wouldn't be exempt from any kind of medals. I don't think there's anybody that's, like, exempt from being able to get medals. I'm pretty sure everybody qualifies to be able to get medals. So they would still be able to do that. I always have notifications on. Well, you're awesome, Silvertails. Issue the notifications, still subbed. Issues with notifications, still okay. I gotcha. Yeah, like, I have, like, a couple channels that I really like, and I'm pretty sure I remember hitting the bell on them. And I don't think I ever really get notifications, like, on my phone. I'll get, like, an email saying that so-and-so uploaded a video, but I don't get, like, a pop-up message on my phone. I might have notifications turned off on my iPhone, though. I don't know. For, like, YouTube or something, I don't know. But I always notice that. Sorry, but I gotta get to work. Have a good night. Well, have fun at work. Hey, Chris, any advice on how veterans finding jobs? Probably just one of the, like... So when I got out of the Army, I went to job fairs, which I found out job fairs weren't really that great, because it seemed like you go to the job fair, and a lot of times it wasn't really, like, it didn't really usually lead to anything. It's usually like someone would give you a brochure or business card telling you to go to their website and apply for jobs that are on there. You really didn't make any good connections, it felt like, in my experience with job fairs. So the best thing I would say is going to, like, Indeed. There's another website, I forget what it's called, like secretclearances.com or secret clearance jobs or something like that.com. Those are pretty good. So if you have, like, a secret clearance, then you can find jobs that are looking for people with active secret clearances. And then just looking online, like, if you want to work, it sometimes just depends on what you want to do. There is another thing I was going to look into it. I was maybe going to try to do a video on it. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. There's an organization that the Army actually has, apparently, that helps veterans try to find jobs. It's called PYS. Looks something like this on the phone. If you can see if it focuses. It might not focus on it. It's probably focused on me. Looks something like that. That's what it looks like on my phone. Sort of. You can't really tell too well. But PYS is some kind of, like, partnership to help veterans. It's, like, through the Army. It's on their Army website, and you can probably just go to goarmy.com to find it. I think it was on goarmy.com that I found it, but they help with finding jobs. But another good one is just trying to, like, if you're trying to get, like, a government job on, like, a base or something like that, you try to find out who has the contract for that job, and then you try to look on their website to try to find any available positions for that job. So, like, for example, my job that I currently do, the contract owner is Northrop Grumman. So if you went to, like, Northrop Grumman's website and look for job openings in, like, my area or something like that, you could find, like, possible job openings. And that's what you really have to do, you know, in your area if you're trying to get a job on post. But otherwise, you know, it just depends on, I guess, what you're looking for. So what do you think about the Air Force transitioning to OCPs? I think it's kind of weird because now, especially, like, in my area, so in Colorado Springs, you have an Army base, Fort Carson, and you also have technically 3 Air Force posts, because then you also, so you have Fort Carson, you have Schriever, you have Peterson, and then you have the Air Force Academy. Although the Air Force Academy, usually those cadets are usually walking around in, like, their dress uniforms for the Air Force, but Peterson and Schriever, they're going to be walking around in the normal camouflage uniform. So now everybody's going to pretty much look the same. You could always tell before who was Army and who was Air Force, right off the bat because of the camouflage pattern. Now when people are wandering around in Colorado Springs in uniform, it's gonna, you're not gonna really know if they're Army or Air Force until you probably see their name tape. So I think that's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy, but whatever. I mean, it makes it look more uniform, more uniformity, I guess, if that's what they're after. I don't know, but it's kind of crazy that they went with the same camouflage pattern that the Army goes with. So, Bit Expert, what is happening? In 7 days, I am volunteer firefighter. Awesome. That sounds awesome. I'm doing a thing of speaking of volunteering. In Colorado Springs at the Air Force Academy, they're doing the Warrior Games. I was going to shoot a video for it and do like this whole elaborate thing where I was going to get a press pass and go shoot footage for it. But the Warrior Games is like Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, everybody. And they're like Wounded Warriors. Not actually the Wounded Warrior program, but like soldiers or airmen or whatever that have been somehow, have some kind of injuries. Maybe they lost a leg, maybe whatever, And they're doing like all these little different competitions, like Olympic style. And this year they're having them here in Colorado Springs at the Air Force Academy. And I was going to shoot video footage for it, but I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm going to be too busy. But Friday, several people from our work volunteered to help out. So Friday, I'll be there to help out and volunteer and help with the sporting events and everything. And then it's like a week long. So I was going to do a press pass and then the rest of the week take a couple days off to go shoot some footage. But got too much going on at work, so I won't actually be able to do that now. So otherwise I would have had some cool, maybe motivational video on my channel for you guys of the Warrior Games, but I'm not going to be able to do that now. So sadly, but I will still be there on Friday to help out and do some volunteer work and stuff. So looking at the website or organizations aimed specifically at employing veterans. Yeah, I don't know if there's any like specific websites that really aim for that. I know that there's usually like a point system that a lot of businesses have where, this employee that's applying for a job gets certain points because they're a minority. This employee gets extra points because they're a veteran and stuff like that. So being a veteran does count. And if you happen to be a veteran and a minority, then sometimes that works definitely to your advantage for getting a job sometimes. But I don't know if all workplaces have that kind of little point system program based on like the type of person and all that kind of stuff. But I don't really know if there's any specific ones. That Army one that I just said about, I think that one's specifically for veterans, but otherwise Indeed and all that kind of stuff is really one of the best ones to try to aim for when someone's getting out of the military in general, I guess, really, and trying to find some kind of job. But strongly dislike when civilians say Happy Memorial Day. Thank you for your service and days outside of Veterans Day. Thank you for defending my rights. Yeah, it always seems kind of weird. I don't know, because I mean, like, it's not really. I don't feel like it's something really you think like if someone thanked me for Memorial Day, it's not something you should be thanking me for. So I don't know. That's why it always feels weird. It's like, you still have like advertisements. You'll see like Happy Memorial Day. We got a sale going on here, and then it's like, should you be saying Happy Memorial Day? It's not really a happy event. It's kind of a sad event. You're supposed to be honoring people, but I don't know. It's kind of a weird kind of a thing. I think is it really the only holiday that's like something kind of not like really a celebration type of theme? I don't know. I don't know if there's any other holidays that aren't really technically a celebration, more of an honoring, I guess. Chris, could someone join the military with a master's in rehab and then get a job in the VA? Not on active duty. I don't even think you have to be prior service to be able to get a job like in the VA or anything like that. I think that's just kind of like one of those things where they just want qualified people to work in the VA. I'm sure it probably helps being a veteran. I think a lot of the people I've talked to in the VA are veterans though. But I wouldn't, having a master's degree and in that kind of field, you wouldn't join the Army and working in the VA. They're all civilians that work in the VA. But if you wanted to, join the military, get that experience, and then get out and try to work in the VA, then I'm sure that's a possibility. But if you're doing it with a master's degree, I would definitely suggest going officer, because you wouldn't want to. You could go enlisted if you want, but I mean, you definitely would qualify for being an officer and stuff. So, still deciding on Army or Air Force. Yeah, it's sometimes going to be a tough decision for people. I think it really just always comes down to the job, which branch of the military better suits the needs of the job. Obviously, if you wanted to be a pilot, well, then for aircrafts, for like fixed wings for airplanes and stuff, then obviously Air Force. And if you wanted to be a helicopter pilot, then Army. And then just different things. You wanted to be dealing with water, then obviously Navy, sometimes even Marines or Coast Guard. But yeah, I think it always just comes down to the job of which branch of the military offers the better job for you, kind of a thing. What's your take on the possibility of the Army going to pinks and greens? Did you see my video? Did you not see my video? I have a video from a while back of when they first were talking about the pinks and greens and stuff. In the video, though, I said I thought they were replacing the dress blues, which that's not the idea of what they want to do with the pinks and greens. They want it to be an everyday uniform. So if you are walking around, inside of an office area or something, then you'd wear the pinks and greens. If you were working in the motor pool or doing some kind of, training outdoors, something like that, then you'd wear the camouflage uniform and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's pretty cool. I think it looks pretty fancy, but there's only going to be a select people that would be wearing it on the daily uniform kind of basis, unless maybe some of those other people had like a day scheduled for like classes or something like that, and then maybe they told them to come in pinks and greens. But I'm sure there's some people that probably wear it a lot more than others, really, is what it would be. But I think they look pretty cool. I think I'd be for them if I was still in the military. I mean, it doesn't matter really now, for me, but they look pretty cool. And I think they're pretty cool looking. When's the giveaway? I really want one. So I already did the Instagram one, and there's a guy, Silvertail 555 or something like that, that won the social media one for Instagram. It ended up being on Instagram, and then there was the second can that I was going to do on Facebook, but there was only like 2 entries, so it's not very competitive. So we'll hang on to the second can. We'll give it away another time. So first can's going to be going away. Second can's going to stay. I think it's back that way somewhere. There you go. It's right there. It's hanging out right there. Just waiting for a moment to try to do another giveaway that's a little bit more successful than that Facebook failure one that I did. So that didn't work out so well. So we'll hang on to that for a while. How hard is it to get special forces? My brother is in AIT as a 35 Fox and gets to be in special forces. So if he's already in AIT, then he would have to go to his first unit and then go to special forces. Otherwise, if you're going through the process straight off the bat, right into coming into the military, into the Army, you have to do 18 X-ray option. That takes you on the path towards special forces. Otherwise, if you're coming in as a specific MOS, then you have to wait until you get to your first unit and then go special forces. And then as far as how hard it is to get special forces, it's not hard to go there. It's usually fairly simple to get there. It's the matter of passing and getting selected that's the difficult part, because it's pretty hardcore training. I'm assuming you've seen my special forces video, though. I'm hoping. If not, go check out my special forces video. Let's see. I have to get going, but awesome channel. Well, thanks, Lynn. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out and checking out the live stream. Hey, Chris, settle this for me. I argued that Command Sergeant Major Troxel, I don't know what that is, technically outranks Sergeant Major Daly, since that person, Troxel, is a senior enlisted advisor to the Joint Chief of Staff, who's right. I don't even know who that other guy is. But if he is the Joint Chief of Staff, isn't Joint Chief of Staff an officer? I don't know. But if he's something like that way, then I guess technically he would outrank Sergeant Major Daly, because Sergeant Major Daly is the Sergeant Major of the Army for all the enlisted guys and everything. But if there's a Sergeant Major that works with like the White House and everything like that, then I don't know if he would technically outrank him or if he would just have different roles. He probably would outrank him, because he would be working more alongside with the president and stuff like that to be able to make more of a decision to tell Sergeant Major of the Army Daily what to do. So I would say probably the guy that works with the chief of staff. So I'm joining as a 19 Delta Cavalry Scout and going airborne. Been reading up on SFAB. Are you going to make a video about that, or are you familiar with SFAB? I am somewhat familiar with SFAB. That recent video I did, I said I was going to sometime in the future, soon probably, do a video on SFAB, which is the Security Forces Security Forces Advisory Battalion. And it's a new unit. They just started that back in October of last year. So it's very, very, very new. But yeah, so as soon as I have to do some research on it, I know a little bit about it, not a whole lot to make a good video just yet. But as soon as I start doing some research for it, I'll put together a video, and I will do a video on SFAB. It doesn't seem like it's anything like like Special Forces or Ranger Regiment where you have to go through a selection course. It sounds like you just apply for it, and then you can get selected and go there. But I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't, from the little bit of research I did, it doesn't look like they have like a selection process like the Special Forces does. So, but once I have more information, then I'll work on an SFAB video. Maybe not outrank him, but outranks him in terms of position and responsibility in the armed forces. Yeah, pretty much. I guess that's probably how it would kind of go. I know you don't want to go back in the military, but what would make you do it? I don't think there's anything that would make me do it, especially since I've been out for 8 years. Been out of the Army for 8 years now, and so if I, for whatever crazy reason, decided I was going to go back in the Army, they would make me go back through basic training. I've been out for too long. I think if you've been out for more than 5 years or something like that, or 4 years or something like that, they'll make you go back to basic training. So I'm not going back in. I wouldn't come back in as a sergeant. I would come back in. I'd probably be stuck coming back in as like a private first class or a specialist. I'd have to go back through basic training. So at this point, it is too late if I, for some crazy reason, decided to come back in the Army. So I don't think there's anything that would make me come back in the Army. I like my nice civilian job. The pay is a lot better. I have fun teaching. I like teaching. So yeah, I don't see any kind of scenario that would make me want to go back in. I entered on Facebook, but don't know if the tag worked. I don't remember who the two people were. There was one person, so you might have been one of those two, but one person tagged just the contest video, just shared the contest video, which wasn't really a good point that I was trying to make, was trying to share one of your favorite videos. So there was that one, and then another person that shared the Ranger video that I did. And those are the only two that I saw, I think. There was another person that posted on my page, which isn't what I wanted to do. I needed someone to share it, so it wasn't a very good contest. It didn't work out so well. So sorry if you did enter in it. Hopefully I'll have a better contest at a later point in time, maybe at 20,000 subscribers, maybe before that. I don't know. But something a little bit better than the way that one went, because that one went horrible for that part of it. The Instagram one went fine. I was fine with the Instagram one, the way that went. So, nice new hat. It's a pretty old hat. It's pretty sweaty. I talked about earlier in the live stream, I was wearing this during my hike, my 7-mile hike uphill today. So it got a little bit sweaty, but I can't find my red hat. I gotta look around the house or something, or get a new one. I don't know. I like those. I like the red hat. So I need a new one. It's gonna become my my signature, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I seen the Special Forces video. Awesome. That tells you a lot too. But yeah, I'm a small YouTuber. It would really cool if we played together. I'll have to check out your channel. I think I did. I don't remember if I checked out your channel. So here's the thing with YouTube. When you're trying to do, you don't want people just to randomly subscribe and do the whole sub for sub or anything like that, because that's not going to give you the views and the subscribers that you really want to build a community and stuff like that. But you want to, if you're a gamer kind of channel, then you'd want to more pair up with another gaming channel. Because if, say, I did something with you on my channel, well, mine's all military related, so there's maybe only a small portion, maybe, who knows, of the people that are interested in gaming on it. But you want to make sure to find other gamers. So you got to network and try to find gamers in your area to try to collab with, and maybe do some online play with or something like that. But if you're trying to do any kind of cross promotion, it doesn't work unless you're cross promoting on a similar type of channel. Second LT, something confuses me. What confuses you about a second LT? Knights Templar. David P115. Hello. Hey, what's up, Al? I'm doing good. How are you? I think if you want to go back in, they make you go to Fort Bliss for the Warriors transition course. I think it's 4 weeks. Yeah, I think they have some kind of like modified version of basic training, but still not something I would want to go through. And I'm pretty sure they would not let me come back in as a sergeant. I would probably be going back through that whole crap of being a specialist and working my way back up and all that kind of fun stuff. And it's not interesting to me. I don't think I want to do that. The first storm, Alberto, on its way. What do you have? You have a storm coming? Is that what you're saying? Did you get infantry rifles? Dumb question. No, I don't have infantry rifles. You talking about the like on the uniform and stuff like that? No, it's just a combat arms uniform has the infantry rifles. I was an 80 Mike. I was a transportation guy, so I did transportation stuff. So there's no cross rifles on my uniform. Seen the picture on Instagram. You sold it like, you saw it was like 3.7 miles. Up and 3.7 miles back down. Yeah, it was something like that. It was pretty tough. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't as tough as doing the steps last weekend, but it was still pretty tough. It was still pretty tiring. So it wasn't, I got to get in shape. I'm definitely out of shape. And like I said, in September, we want to do Pikes Peak. So I shot some video footage from it, but I only shot a little bit of footage, so I don't think I'll throw together a video with it like I did that last one. But yeah, it was pretty tiring. I mean, the trail is there's some parts of the trail that get pretty rocky and pretty crazy, but it's definitely a good workout. So yeah, a total of 7 miles altogether, I think is what it was. Because I have the little thing. I didn't post the little end part that shows the total miles altogether, but we did pretty good on time. We ended up see if I can pull it up real quick, but we ended up doing 2 hours and 33 minutes is what we ended up getting. Kind of looks something like this. I don't know if the camera will end up focusing on it or not. Come on, right about there. So sort of 6 miles and 96 or 6.96 miles and 2 hours and 33 minutes. So we did, it's like an hour and 43 up, and that was 10 minutes faster than when we took the steps. So that's pretty good because it's a longer distance, a little bit easier though. And then when we went down, we were 30 minutes faster than last time because last weekend when we went up the steps and then went down the trail, I think we did that in an hour and 20 minutes, where this time it was like 50 minutes down, and we definitely picked up the pace going down, so it was a little bit faster going down. So not bad though. Yeah, I don't want to be private chaos bit expert. That'd be awful. I gained 1 subscriber from the little you talking about right down this way. This number will fluctuate periodically throughout the live stream. It's kind of crazy, like because you'll see it go up and you'll see it go down and all that stuff like that. But the thing with this is, some of those people that when it goes down, and even sometimes when it goes up, are just fake subscribers that subscribe for I don't know what reason. Maybe there's something they think that's in the algorithm of if they subscribe to a bunch of channels, then other channels will subscribe to them, or I don't know what the deal is, but you'll see it fluctuates quite a bit. You'll see, like if you sit there and actually watch it, you'll see it go up, you'll see it go down, and sometimes you'll see it stay the same for a while. But I'm running an ad on YouTube, so we'll see if that helps at all. I think it's somewhat helping. I want to say earlier today, I think I was only at like 111 or something like that. And the ad, I think, started running today to where it'll play it's like one of those pre-ads. So if you're not a YouTube Red subscriber, you might you probably, I don't know if current subscribers will see it. I think I have it targeted to people who are not subscribed, but I have an ad that'll show up. To try to see, we'll run it for a few days and see how it goes. See if I get a big increase in subscribers or not. I don't know though. Let's see. How do you join the Army? Well, it's a very complicated, long process to try to tell you about it. You got to take an ASVAB score. You got to talk to a recruiter. Then you got to go to MEPS, and then you can qualify, and then get physical, and then maybe you can join. I do have a video on my channel for how to join the Army, so look for that. That'd be a little bit more in depth. But one of the main ways to find out how to join the Army would be talking to an Army recruiter. But I try to help out with a little bit better tips, because obviously they're trying to sell you on, joining the Army, where I'm just laying down what I know and the facts and stuff, and not trying to, sweet talk you. You should do a live stream with your friend that was in the infantry. Yeah, we'll probably do another one. I got to get him to do a little interview for the 11 Bravo video too, so I got to get him for that. Him, and there'll be another guy. So I'll have 2 people that I'll interview for the 11 Bravo video, since I'm going to try to do that MOS series every now and then. So I'll work on that kind of series, and he's going to be one of them, and another person for the 11 Bravo to share his experiences as an 11 Bravo, so people who maybe are interested in MOS can find out about it and everything. But David didn't deploy, and he wasn't an NCO, so he has a lot of great experience because he was in the airborne, and a lot of other mech infantry and stuff too. So he's got a lot of good experience to be able to talk about that stuff. And there's another guy that I know who was an NCO and did deploy. They can give a little bit of a perspective of what 11 Bravo lifestyle is like when you're deployed and when you're a non-commissioned officer as an 11 Bravo too. So I'll work on that at some point in time soon, hopefully. I also want to thank you for the information. I am currently a freshman in high school trying to decide which branch of the service to go into, and it's great to have you give out information. Well, thank you, Kyler. It's pretty unique. I thought it was Kyle at first, but Kyler, I guess. I'm horrible with names, so if I jacked that up, then I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you. It's kind of the goal on here. I know that. So the one annoying thing that I've seen, I haven't seen it too often. I've seen it maybe a total of maybe 3 comments, a total for like my entire channel, 3 comments where someone's saying that, oh, I'm giving out too much information, and it's just promoting people to be able to have this information for stolen valor and stuff like that. And it's like, no, this information that I'm giving out is public. I mean, maybe it might make it easier, but the answer isn't that I shouldn't give out this information because people use it for stolen valor. It's that people shouldn't do stolen valor. So I like to give out the information, so that people can learn about the military if they're curious about it, or they want to join the military and they want to know what it's like. And it's a big decision to join the military, and it's good to have that knowledge and know what you're getting yourself into, because once you sign up, you're locked in for like 4 years. I mean, sure, you can get out, but it would screw up the rest of your life probably, because you get a dishonorable discharge, if you do some crappy way of getting out or whatever. So I feel it's very good information for people to know. If people use that information for something horrible, like trying to pretend that they're in the military and trying to use stolen valor and try to use my information from that, and that sucks. But I'm hoping that the majority of the people that watch my information are getting something out of it to make, the tough decision of, do they want to join the Army? Do they want to join the Air Force? Do they want to do this? Do they want to do that? And know what they're getting themselves into, and not for the reasons of trying to pretend that they were in the Army and try to get some kind of discount, or just try to, get some kind of praise from somebody. So hopefully the information is good for those kind of people. So to you, Kyler, hopefully the information works out great for making a good decision, because it's not an easy decision to make, to decide to go military and do that for the next 4 years of your life, for however long, if you stand for even longer. You obviously usually have like a minimum of 4 years, so at least that first 4 years you're dedicated to the military life, and it's a tough thing to decide if that's right for you or not. And so hopefully that the information that I provide tells you whether or not it's right for you. So I forgot to set up my account for Super Chat. I'm sorry. Not a big deal. They're awesome. It's cool. I don't think it works, though, for the lights. I don't know. I know my lights in here are supposed to blink different colors if someone does a Super Chat. But I'm not 100% sure if it actually does it or not, because I have not actually, since I did it, I got a Super Chat, but I was in Texas when that happened. It might have been from BitExpert, because I think the BitExpert's probably the only person that ever does Super Chat. I don't know. But I know I have it set up for like my doorbell. Is where it's supposed to blink the lights when someone rings my doorbell, but it's delayed. Someone rings my doorbell, and then maybe like 5 minutes later, my lights will blink. So I don't even know if that works, but not necessary. If you don't have it set up for Super Chat, or you don't want us to do Super Chat, it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. I thought about doing a donation thing maybe on the website where people can do PayPal, and if you want to donate and use the funds to, you know, do some kind of improvements to equipment or whatever the case might be. But I don't know. I always feel weird about, you know, accepting donations and all that kind of stuff. I just want to entertain you guys. But making it rich would be nice too, but I don't want to make it rich off donations. That's not fair. I'd rather make it rich off of ad revenue and other things, selling merchandise or something like that. Something where you actually get something back for it. So, let's see. You should do a video on mountain warfare. I probably will at some point in time. However, the mountain tab is not something that kind of carries over like airborne and special forces and air assault and all that stuff like that. The mountain tab itself is really only something for the that mountain division. I forget what the number is, but that mountain division is the only ones that specifically do that. So it doesn't carry over. So if you leave that division, you leave that brigade or whatever, then you don't keep that mountain tab at your other unit. So I don't know. I haven't decided if I'll really do a mountain video. If you're talking about that mountain-ish, you know, unit, otherwise mountain warfare, I don't know if I'm not going to teach tactics. What's the ad about? It's just a quick little 45-second video that tells about what my channel has. So that way, hopefully, gain the interest of people who are not subscribed to the channel. So that way they can see that, hey, this guy's making army-related videos and I'm interested in the army, so maybe I should check out his channel and stuff like that. So it's just like a 45-second video that will play at the beginning of some videos that people watch. So we'll see. We'll see if it really drives traffic to my channel or not. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't remember the answer to that. Otherwise, I would give a smart-ass answer of what the answer is, but we can ask Siri if you want. Yeah. Hey, Siri. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I suppose it depends on whether you are talking about African or European woodchucks.
So there you go. How about that, the lone falcon? Are you talking about African or European woodchucks? Because it depends, really, on which one we're talking about here. Did you know anyone who was a civil affairs specialist or 38 Bravo? Not personally. I think I've met some civil affairs people, but I don't really know a whole lot about what they do, other than I don't know how to explain it. They do like, I don't know. I can't give a good explanation off the top of my head, but I've met some civil affairs people, but I don't have a good understanding of their job. I don't think I know anybody currently that was civil affairs, but maybe at some point I would like to cover every MOS for that MOS little video, but we'll see if I'm able to. Sorry, I'm new to your channel, so sorry if I ask questions about the Army that you have videos on. Hey, it's no problem. Not a big deal. I try to do the best to answer it, but like I said, if I have a better explanation in a video, then I'll let you know. It's not a big deal if you ask a question that happens to be in a video, but I usually won't go on a big long tangent and explain everything when I have a video that probably explains it best. But I'll at least let you know that there's a video out there, and then you can check it out like after the live stream or whenever you get a chance and all that fun stuff, and get some great information, hopefully. Not ashamed to admit that when I drive from Fresno to Los Angeles, I have your videos on a playlist and listen to it as a pass of time. Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much, Jay the Vorn, for listening to me on your boring drive through LA traffic, because I'd imagine that's horrible. Just don't get too distracted, because I know what that's like. I know what that freeway is like, and yeah, you got some real crazy people driving around there. What part of the Army were you in? What do you mean, what part of the Army? So my job was an 88 Mike. I was a transportation guy. As far as duty stations, I was in Fort Riley, Kansas, for 2 years. And then I went to Korea. I was stationed at the JSA, the Joint Security Area at Camp Boniface, right along the DMZ for 2 years. And then I went to Fort Carson, Colorado for the rest of my time while I was in the military. And then while I was stationed in Colorado, which was from 2004 to 2010, I deployed twice to Iraq. So that's, I guess, where I was at. Let's see. Most stolen valor people do not do the in-depth research, which is why they get caught by veterans. Pulling the wool over civilians is easy as they know little about the military life. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's from everything, all the videos I've always seen of people getting caught with stolen valor. It's pretty usually fairly simple to find out when they're making crap up and making up units and making up stuff. It's weird. It's a weird thing that people do, but people try to, you know, I don't know, maybe they just want to get the recognition or whatever. But like, even like when I was in the Army, and even after getting out of the Army and someone finds out that I'm a veteran or whatever, and they say, you know, thank you for your service, it feels weird to me because it was just my job, you know, so I feel weird for someone thanking me for just doing my job. But I mean, appreciative of it. It's nice, I guess. But yeah, I guess it's kind of weird when people want to pretend that they were in the military for that recognition or whatever they're trying to do it for, I guess. It's kind of crazy. If you go to college and then commission as an officer, does the military pay it off for you, or do you have to pay off yourself? They do have a program that will pay off to a certain amount. I have a video on this channel for, was it Get an Education While in the Military, I think it's called, something like that. So later, if you want to try to remember to look for that video for Getting an Education in the Military, there's a specific program that they offer where it'll allow you to allow you to have the Army pay off up to a certain amount of your student loans, and you can have that done. So that helps. And then you waive the GI Bill essentially, so that when you get out of the military, you can't go to school or anything like that. But if you've already, you know, gotten a degree and you're becoming an officer, then you probably don't need to go to school afterwards, unless you're trying to go for like a master's or something like that. But yeah, there is a program where they'll pay off up to a certain amount of your student loans when you join as an officer. So check that video out. It'll give you a little bit more information. I don't remember off the top of my head what the name of that program was. I'd have to probably rewatch the video to see what the name of that program was when I did the research and created that video. 10th Mountain Division, yes. Thank you, David Wagner. That was the division. 10th Mountain Division. It was a big time unit in World War II. They fought in Italy. Senator Bob Dole was 10th Mountain in World War II. Whoops, jeez, hit the microphone here. Yeah, so that was the unit. That was the Mountain Division. So I think they go through some special mountain training for the 10th Mountain, and then they have a mountain tab on their uniform, but that tab doesn't carry over to other units. So that's kind of the big thing with that. Ever seen the video of the guy named Ronnie who stole valor while wearing an Air Force shirt, Army hat, and a Marine Corps wallet? So there's some videos I've seen that look, I don't remember if that was one of the ones that I saw where it looks really outrageous, and I wonder if it's just like taken out of context, where it was actually someone, you know, doing a spoof, where maybe this person really was in the military, and him and his buddy or something like that was like, hey, let's do this fake stolen valor video, and it'll be, you know, funny, and we'll post it online, and I'll just make up some crazy crap and stuff like that. Because sometimes I feel like it's just really out there with some of the crap that they're saying and stuff like that, and their uniform that they're wearing and everything like that, and trying to pretend to be in the military. So sometimes I think that someone finds this person's little spoof video that they made out of humor, and then they add it to a compilation of like stolen valor stuff, and are saying that this is a legit one when really it was just a spoof. But then there's some that I see that I can totally see, or, you know, someone trying to play it off. But I always wonder about that. Some are just really out there, just way, way, way wrong. Where there was one guy where I'm pretty sure it was a spoof. He was like walking his dog, and he had I think it was an Army ACU top that was too small for him, and he had like a flag underneath his collar and all sorts of stuff. And I'm pretty sure that was a spoof. I don't really think that guy was serious. If he was, he's got some real issues. But sometimes I wonder if that's all it is. If it's someone trying to like spoof and make fun of, you know, stolen valor people and how outrageous they are, and then someone takes it out of context. I don't know though. What is deployment like? It sucks. That's a question from Jared. Yeah, it's not a lot of fun. The only advantage to deployments is that your paychecks are tax free. So like my first deployment, I racked up some pretty good amount of money in my bank account to where I was able to pay off my car and, you know, pay off a couple bills, and then come back from the United States and buy some cool toys and, you know, have a great time and everything like that. But for the most part, the lifestyle is horrible. There's no days off. You may get a few hours here and there off in the evenings, and maybe to recuperate from a night mission or to before a night mission. But for the most part, when you're doing like these deployments, they've tried to shorten them up a little bit. But like when I was doing them, it was like a year long and 15 months long. I had one that was 12 months and one that was 15 months. And on both of them, no weekends off, no time off, other than, like I said, to recuperate from a mission. And so it's tiring, I feel like you're in prison, you're like counting down the days until you get to go home and stuff. But some of the deployments now are shortening them up to like 6 months, which is a lot better. But it's not fun. You're living in like these, like my first deployment, we were living most of the time in tents, and those tents were horrible, especially when a sandstorm would come through. And everything would be all covered in sand after that sandstorm. And then second deployment, we had a lot better lifestyle though. We had these small, they're called chews, these little Connex kind of looking buildings. They were really small, and because I was a non-commissioned officer, I had just me and another person in the room, so it wasn't too bad. But lower enlisted soldiers, they're like 4 people to those same rooms, and so it's a little bit rougher. But yeah, it's not very fun. I think that's the only plus side to it is the tax-free paycheck while you're deployed. How does the GI Bill work? Basically, like I said, that one video gives more in depth with it, but to give you a good rundown, kind of a quick rundown of it, if you want to know a little bit more specifics, check out my video of getting an education in the Army. But essentially, once you get out, if you want to use the GI Bill, usually you'll see a VA representative at the college and tell them that, hey, I'm a veteran and I want to use my GI Bill, and they get some information from you. You fill out a form, and then you give them you then enroll in some classes, and usually based on if you're full-time or part-time student, depends on how much money you'll receive as a stipend, and then they'll pay for your schooling and all that stuff, and then you usually have to check in somehow, I think it is, and then if you fail any classes, then you have to pay for those classes you failed. But it's a fairly simple process. I did it for an associate's degree. I got to use my GI Bill, and I got an associate's in television and radio, so it was a fairly okay process to go with. But yeah, my one video will give a little bit more information. Civil affairs deals with the press. Yeah, so that's what it is. But I don't remember if I've ever worked with anybody that was civil affairs. I've met some civil affairs people, but I don't have a good total understanding of like what their day-to-day life is like. What? Are you a man or a woman? I can't tell. You got to recheck your eyes, bro. Definitely got something going on there. Most stolen valor is accompanied with a mental health issue or condition. Yeah, I would agree. I feel like sometimes I've seen some of the videos where it's like people are maybe homeless and they're trying to get some kind of kickbacks, and they probably have something going on. But yeah, that's crazy. Did you have more fun as an E4 or as an E5? Probably as an E5. E4, you're still having to work, and do a lot of the crummy details still sometimes, whereas an E5, I don't know, there's like different parts of each rank that, can be kind of tough, where you're not sure, where you're having to do more work other times, and then when you're in E5, you have more responsibility, and then you're getting in trouble for someone else screwing up because they were one of your soldiers or something kind of crazy. So I don't know, I think both have different advantages in different ways, but I don't know, I probably liked being in charge. Being in charge was fun. I liked having that responsibility. Sometimes it wasn't always that great, but one stolen valor video I found amusing was when a guy was wearing an Army ACU top and put ribbons where the name patch goes. Yeah, there's been some crazy ones I've seen. Like I said, sometimes I wonder if they're spoofs though, but there's some pretty crazy ones. There was the big one I always remember was there was like a guy, looked like he was overweight. He was like in the mall and wearing ACUs and shopping and all that stuff like that. And, kind of all jacked up. And some guy was like recording him with his son and all this stuff. So it's crazy. But yeah, stolen valor is kind of a weird kind of thing that people like to do. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah. I got a little off track there. I was kind of catching up on some of the other comments too. But yeah, there was something else I was going to say about the stolen valor thing now. Now I got all off track though. But yeah, it's weird. Weird people want to do the whole stolen valor kind of stuff. I'm listening to you while I build Legos. What are you building? Are you building the Death Star? Shipping out for Fort Benning on August 26th for basic training, and they stay there for the AIT 11 Bravo. How will BCT be different to AIT? Are you talking about you're shipping out to Fort Benning on August for basic training and then stay there for AIT? So if you're doing 11 Bravo, you'll be doing it a little bit differently. Like I went to Fort Benning, but I was in 11 Bravo. So once I was done with basic training, I went off to AIT. Technically, if you're doing 11 Bravo, you don't have AIT. It's just OSIT, one station unit training, right? But all your basic training AIT is all rolled into one. You won't even notice really how when basic is done and your AIT really kind of begins. But like I said, it's not really called AIT for you. But OSIT kind of all rolls all together, and then you're done and you move on to your unit, kind of a thing. But you'll be doing it with all other 11 Bravos. So it won't be the same as like when I did basic training. You'll be doing more weapon stuff and more infantry related stuff in your basic training compared to what I did and what other people will do if they're not 11 Bravo. I don't ask this, but I'm curious. What is your worst thing you've seen? I don't know. I don't know if I have anything like the worst thing I've seen, like anything horrible. I don't know. I've gotten stuck almost having to do some horrible stuff, but I don't know. I don't know what the worst thing I've seen would be. Nothing pops out of my mind. If you stayed in, do you think you'd be a sergeant first class by now? Probably. If I was still in right now, I'd probably be a first sergeant. I would imagine. I would, because I would have been in for. If I had stayed in, I would be in for 18 years right now. So I would imagine I'd probably be like a first sergeant right now. But that's not the lifestyle I wanted to continue living, so I moved on. What is the E4 Mafia? That's like a slang thing that people use in the Army for the specialists in the E4s, saying that all E4s kind of bind together and have their own little crew of specialists and E4s, and it's the E4 Mafia, and that's kind of like a slang that in the Army they have called the E4 Mafia. Lego ambulance and Lego hospital, awesome. Legos are pretty cool. I don't own any, but at some point I'm probably gonna have to get some for the little one, because at some point in time she'll probably want to play with Legos, but I don't own any Legos at this current time. Good to know. Thanks. You're welcome. What are your favorite events the Army puts together? I don't know. Favorite events? They do some cool stuff. Sometimes we'll have usually team building things. Usually like on Fort Carson, they have what's called, I think it's called Kit Carson, where they have sporting events, and you just have a whole week dedicated to playing sports. And that's kind of cool that you're able to do that, in the Army. I'm horrible at sports. I'm not a very good sports person, but because I do like video and photography, I was usually able to get out of doing sports, because I'd be like, hey, how about instead of me playing football or playing basketball or doing any of these sports, I'll just run around all over post and try to capture cool photos and video footage of our, unit doing these sports, so that we can have this to post or do whatever with. And they'd be like, that's a great idea. And so I would get out of sports doing that way, because I'm not a very good sports person. But yeah, so they have that kind of thing. You'll have like family events where you'll have like barbecues and stuff, and those are kind of cool. But I don't know. I don't know what my favorite. I don't know. I'm not sure what my favorite would be. So hey, if you didn't know, by the way, if you want a Chaos sticker, I got some free ones that I'm giving out while supplies last. But all you have to do is send a self-addressed envelope to the address here on your screen. I also have it down in the description as well. But yeah, I'll send you a sticker. If you also want to, include a stamp on that envelope, it'll make it a lot faster, but you don't have to. I have plenty of stamps that I can throw in an envelope. But if you want a Chaos sticker, go ahead and shoot it to my P.O. box. I will stuff a Chaos sticker in it and send it back to you if you would like one. Yeah, that is, I guess. But like I said, if you didn't write this down, you didn't screenshot this, it's down in the description. Come back to it. It's also on my Instagram. It's also in the description of several of my recent videos. So don't worry. There's other places where you can still find this address if you are interested. If you want to send me cool stuff, that's cool too. I don't know what people would send me, but that's an available thing. If you just want to send me a letter, that's cool. There was something messed up with my P.O. box, so I don't know if anybody recently tried to send anything and if it got sent back or anything, but they didn't have they didn't have Christopher Chaos on the little label on the inside. They had Mayhem Factory because I had it registered under my official business that I do for video production, kind of a thing. And but I was gonna use it for dual purposes, for Mayhem Factory / Christopher Chaos, but they didn't put Christopher Chaos on the label, so I don't know if anything got rejected or not. If by chance you did send something and it gets rejected, like if it was recently that you sent it off, or not recently, because recently I had it fixed, but if it was like last week or something like that, you sent something off and it gets rejected, just resend it or something like that. It's been fixed. But yeah, I'll send you a cool Chaos sticker if you want to send me an envelope. How long were you in the Army? I was in the Army for just a little over 10 years. And I know a lot of people are always like, 10 years? You're halfway there, halfway to retirement. My analogy with that is that imagine if you were walking from California to Kansas and you could quit right there. Or someone's like, hey, you're halfway to New York City. That was a long walk that it took me to get to Kansas. I think I'm going to call it quits here at Kansas. I mean, not saying I'm going to stay in Kansas, in that analogy, but I'm done walking. So it was a crazy kind of, time to be in the Army back then when I was in. A lot of deployments and a lot of craziness going on. So I wasn't interested in staying in. So 10 years was longer than I even intended to stay in. Silvertails, welcome back. Do you prefer the older, darker camouflage or the newer, lighter ones? I don't know. I don't think it really matters too much. I like the OCP camouflage pattern is pretty cool. I mean, I probably like those ones better than the ACU pattern that I had before. So, how long did you spend shining your shoes for your dress uniform? Spend hours on my ROTC shoes. So, like we used to shine when I first came in the military. We had boots that we had to shine in our camouflage uniform, and you usually spend a long time on those. But the ones in your dress uniform, they're chlorophrem. So all you have to do is take Windex to them and wipe them down. You don't actually have to shine those ones. So I didn't have to actually shine the ones for my dress uniform. But if you're talking about, the boots that we used to have to do, those ones do take a while. But that's kind of weird that if you said you have for your dress uniform, you have to shine them. They don't give you the chloroform ones that you just spray a little Windex on and knock the dust off of them and call them good, because they're pretty shiny on their own as long as you don't scuff them up real bad. Do you like the Army gray camo? I don't know which one of the gray I don't know which one of the gray one is. There's the OCP camo and then the ACU. If you're talking about like the digital, the older one, it was okay. But I don't know. How did you come up with your YouTube name? It was an old email address that I had, like when I was in high school. I did Christopher Chaos. I think it was a Hotmail one that I don't even have anymore. Christopher Chaos in some numbers or something like that. But I just thought it made a cool name because I don't know. I don't remember why specifically, but I've had it for a long, long time, and it's just stuck with me. I used it as like a little tag name, kind of pen name or whatever you want to call it. And then when I started doing YouTube stuff, I stuck with that name for Christopher Chaos. So I liked it. It's a cool thing. And then the logo I designed back in like 2007, 2008. And I recently just was aware that it's also kind of similar to a game that's out there. I didn't know this, but technically I created the logo before the game came out. So I think I have dibs on the logo. I mean, it's not exactly the same. It has different font. It's not the same font. The only thing that's really the same is the Chaos in that game has a skull for an O, like I have on Chaos. But the font is not the same, so it's not exactly the same logo anyways. So, what's up, Adrian? Did you now the Amazon mole rats has 2 thugs? I don't know what the heck you're talking about. I remember you said you were a part of a cav unit. What was your take on being in a cav unit and their day-to-day work life? I don't know if it was too much different than a regular unit. The main thing usually with the cav is that you have scouts and Bradleys, and then you have a few different kind of things that you can do a little bit differently with your uniforms. But I don't know if the day-to-day is really too much different than normal military lifestyle. I mean, you'll have like different events where you wear a Stetson, which is like their fancy kind of like a cowboy hat almost in a way. And then sometimes you wear spurs if you're authorized to wear spurs. Usually you can only wear spurs if you've been to combat or if you did the spur ride. And so you have like some weird times where you'll have different uniform kind of standards and all that kind of stuff. But it's not bad. I mean, I don't see it being a whole lot different. So we'll do maybe a couple more questions. We'll probably end this. Usually I only let these go for about an hour. And we're just a little bit past the hour mark now. So we'll do a little bit more questions and we'll call it quits for this episode of Chaos Live. So let's see where I left off at then. Which one is better, the Osprey or the Chinook? I don't think I've ever been in an Osprey. I've been in a Chinook. So I don't know. Chinook was okay. It's got a lot of room. I only rode in it once when in the National Training Center in California, and they left the door open in the back, so it was kind of cool. I got a little bit motion sick, but I'm not very good with like rides either. Did you like being an 88 mic? I just finished MEPS on Wednesday and got 88 mic for my MOS. How was AIT? It was okay. Just a lot of transportation stuff. If you didn't see my 88 mic video, that was a recent video. I have an 88 mic video that kind of talks about the day-to-day life of an 88 mic. But it was okay, I guess. It was really just something that was offered to me, and I didn't have a whole lot of options available because I have like a red-green colorblind. So I just kind of went with being a truck driver because I only planned on being in the military at the time for 4 years and getting out and going to college, which didn't end up working out that way, but it was okay. But yeah, the training, you just drive, it's like kind of like 6 weeks of driver's training. And you're learning how to drive different vehicles and learning about different rules and all that kind of stuff. But not too bad, I guess. Going to bed, Chris. Have a good one. Thanks, T-Dog. Thanks for hanging out for the live stream. Sorry I misspelled that. I meant, did you know about the amazing mole rat has... It's still the same thing, isn't it? Did you just say the same thing? I don't know where you're going with this. Thank you for answering and serving. Also, your videos have helped a lot. Awesome. Well, thank you, Francisco. Gained 7 subscribers. I know. We're on a roll. We're on a roll for now. We'll see where this number's at the next time we do a live stream. So that's always awesome. We'll do the last one. Thank you, Chris. Love the videos and keep up the good work. Well, thank you. Thank you, Will. So you're awesome. So yeah, we'll go ahead and end the live stream here. We're about a little over the hour mark. I got a little bit of a headache because I'm probably still a little bit dehydrated from the workout this morning. But yeah. Oh, geez. Thanks for hanging out for another Chaos Live. Like I said, if you want a free sticker, you want to send me some mail, there should be a down in the description. It should have some information on, or it should have the address for the P.O. box if you want to send me some mail, or you want a free sticker. I'll send you a free sticker. That's cool. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I got another video Tuesday, all new video that compares how the physical fitness test works for all the different branches in the military. So be sure to check that out because I worked really hard on it. So hopefully it turned out well and you guys enjoy it. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. See you guys next time. See ya.